Congress is split up as a bicameral legislature into two branches, the Senate and the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives is made up of 435 members, and each state has its number of members decided by the proportion of the United States population that reside within it. The Senate is made up of 100 members, 2 from each state. Congress meets in the United States Capitol Building. The United States Capitol Building is located in Washington, District of Columbia, the capital of the United States of America. The Senate meets in the North Chamber of the Capitol Building. The House of Representatives meets in the South Chamber of the Capitol Building. The necessity of the Capitol Building was originally realized in 1791, but construction did not begin until 1793. Congress moved in 1800, but many sections remained unfinished until after the War of 1812 when British soldiers set it on fire. It was finally a complete building in 1829, although numerous updates have been made throughout the years. The House of Representatives is made up of equally proportioned representatives for each state. The more people in a state's population, the more representatives from that state will go to Congress. The House of Representatives is the result of the Virginia Plan. The Virginia Plan was one of two plans suggested when the founders of the United States of America were trying to come up with a good and fair legislative branch. The Virginia Plan favored large population states, and it is argued that the large population states should get more votes since they had more people, and therefore make up a greater proportion of the population. This idea was taken and used as a basis for the House of Representatives by using the data collected by the census every decade to determine the apportionment of representatives each state gets to the House. There is a minimum of 2, with California having the most at 53. There are a total of 435 House representatives.
Senators in the Congress of the United States of America must be 30 years old or older, must be citizens of the United States for at least the last 9 years, and must live in the state they are running to represent. The senators serve 6-year terms, and 1/3 of the Senate is elected every 2 years. Representatives in the House of Representatives of the Congress of the United States of America must be at least 25 years old, must have been a citizen of the United States for at least the last 7 years, and live in the state they represent. Representatives serve 2-year terms. Richard Burr is a United States Senator from North Carolina. He was first elected to that position in 2005. Thom Tillis is a United States Senator from North Carolina. He was first elected to that position in 2015. Both senators are Republican. 5. Almy Adams is a United States Representative from the 12th Congressional District of North Carolina. She was first elected to that position in 2014. She is a Democrat.
The 4 powers of the legislative branch are given by Article 1 of the United States Constitution. They are as follows. The legislative branch can create laws, can regulate interstate and international commerce. The House of Representatives is in charge of coming up with rules and budgets related to money, and the Senate hears presidential nominees before they can be put in power. It's the legislative branch. The legislative branch of the United States of America is limited by the checks and balances imposed on it by the executive and judicial branches. The executive branch limits the legislative branch by proposing laws, vetoing laws passed by Congress, calls special sessions of Congress, and negotiating foreign treaties. The judicial branch limits the legislative branch by retaining the power of judicial review and using it to declare actions of Congress unconstitutional. Congress has standing committees in the House and the Senate. In the Senate, for example, there is the Standing Committee for Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry. As it so happens, this committee proposes legislations for and all matters pertaining to agriculture, nutrition, and forestry. Another example, in the House of Representatives, is the House Standing Committee of Energy and Commerce. This is the oldest standing legislative committee in the House of Representatives and also has the broadest jurisdiction of any congressional committee. It has congressional jurisdiction over just about every aspect of trade and energy in the United States. The House of Representatives has passed a bill introduced by the House Committee of Homeland Security. This intention of the bill is to authorize cyber incident response teams at the Department of Homeland Security, and for other purposes. It does this by requiring that the Center for the Department of Homeland Security to set up teams that are always ready to do things like assist victims after a cyber incident, identify cyber risks, work on mitigation strategies, and to give recommendations for asset owners. The bill also recommends that the Secretary of Homeland Security include cybersecurity specialists from the private sector. Finally, the bill requires that these teams gather and submit metrics of their work to Congress.